What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host with the most, the one and only, coming to you back with a very exciting and fun video that honestly is really long overdue. This one goes out to my Bandaholics. I know you guys are really gonna find this video entertaining and or perhaps useful. This is not my top 3, not my top 4, but my top 5 favorite bands at the current moment. I'm not even gonna title this my top 5 favorite bands of all time because honestly, they just keep on switching as the months progress. Sometimes I'm really vibing with one and then other times I just ditch it and now I go for another one. Some of my Bandaholics might be able to relate. I don't know, who knows, it might just be me though. But with a collection of over 350 bands, inevitably I have to have some favorites, and that's what we're gonna go over today. So guys, I hope you have some snacks around, maybe a drink or two. Buckle in tight because this is gonna be a wild ride. This is my top 5 favorite bands at the current moment. Like I said, we're not gonna waste any more time, so let's go ahead and roll that intro and get right into it. Alright, so let me just preface something real quick before I start. I was a little disappointed that Apple did not release any new summer bands at WWDC. Now, summer is officially starting pretty soon if we're not already in summer. In Georgia, we have over 100+ degree weather. It's been insane. So we still might have some time, but it's becoming more and more unlikely as the days progress. My bank account is extremely happy that no new bands are out. I, however, am not. I really would have loved another row over here on this side of my band wall, as I'm really trying to complete both, and so that I could say that I have over 400 bands. Alright, so we're not going to waste any more time. Let's dive into band number 5. So for number 5, I'm digging deep into my roots, and as some of you guys know, my family is of Mexican ancestry. So I do have both the woven nylon variant and then the sport loop variant that just came out not too long ago. I love rocking these, especially with the World Cup coming up real soon. You know firsthand that I will be rocking these every single time Mexico plays. Now, they are in a very difficult group. For those soccer fans, we have Poland and Argentina to worry about, and I think we also have Saudi Arabia in our group. No offense to any of my Saudi Arabian fans, but it should be an easy dub from y'all. At least I sure hope so. And of the two, I just had to combine them both for number 5. But if I were to choose one and give the preference to one, it would be the woven nylon variant. What I don't like about the sport loop variant is you can't even really tell that this is Mexico's band. I mean, someone could easily mistake this for Italy, since Italy's and Mexico's flag somewhat look similar, all except Mexico's coat of arms right in the middle, which is that infamous eagle devouring that serpent. Now, I don't know if there's any way that Apple could ever incorporate their coat of arms, the eagle, into the bands. It's just way too much detail, but I just feel that the woven nylon variant represents Mexico's flag a little more, and being Mexican American, I just had to put this in my top 5. All right, for number 4, because it is summer, we have Surf Blue. Now, when Surf Blue came out a couple years ago, it was a fan favorite. It is one of the brightest blues that you'll ever see on an Apple Watch band. Slap this on any casing color, any casing material, and it's gonna pop out and people are gonna turn their heads. I'm not kidding you. People will do 180s, especially if you're at the gym or by the pool. This is just the perfect summer band, and the fact that it's in the sport band variant means that it's very versatile. You could use it for casual encounters, you could use it at the gym, and everywhere you go, it'll add just a little bit of pop to your whole outfit. I've always been a little hesitant about blues. After a while, Apple was just releasing way too many blues in my opinion, but this one sticks out. This one has some kind of vibrancy that I can't even explain. Now, this one is not sold anymore through Apple. You will have to find it on other sites like Amazon or eBay, quite likely for a premium, since this is a fan favorite. I know that I'm not alone in saying that Surf Blue is one of the most beautiful blues out there on the sport band line. All right, guys, and now for number 3, we have an expensive band, but one that is very unique and one that I really enjoy ever since the first day I got it, and that is this Hermes leather band. But the best thing about this is that it has this design that is very Hermes-like. So it has these chains in blue going down the middle. But wait, that's not it. Most Hermes bands have silver lugs, or inserts as I like to call them. Now this one follows the same exact color as the beautiful Space Black Series 7. So it matches up to perfection. The finish is awesome, the color is great, and the blue accents just really make this one pop. Now, I know I'm a little biased, but I think especially with a tattoo sleeve, this one goes the extra mile. It's like your arm has a design within it with the tattoos, And then of course the band also has that blue design within that black background. So if you're into the darker casing colors like I am, now I do hop around. Sometimes I prefer regular titanium, sometimes starlight, but whenever I'm in a sleek vibe, anytime that I want to really show off a really unique band, this is my go-to. And best of all, because it's leather, you can wear it for more formal occasions. Think weddings, think interviews, and trust me, every single time I wear this band, I at least get one compliment throughout the day. Now, this one did cost me around $350 or so. With tax, it was almost $400. But trust me, the money was well worth it, as this is one of those bands that will forever be in my top 5. If I do ever make a video with my all-time favorite bands, you best believe this one will be within that top 5. All right, Bandaholics, we're getting into the juicy bits now. So for band number 2, currently, as of right now, this has been one of my favorite bands for quite a while. And I know many people can agree. I'm talking about the Pride braided solo. So hear me out. When the braided solo line first was introduced, many people were ecstatic. The only thing you have to be careful of is your sizing. So as some of you guys know, the solo loops and braided solo line are size dependent. So you do have to go on Apple's website if you're not in person at an Apple store and get your sizing. Now, I do have a sizing guide, as Apple's sizing is a bit off and it's really wonky, honestly. Apple's sizing guide might tell you need an 8, but in reality, you might need a 6 or a 7. I like to have my braided solos be really skin tight, but not so much that it restricts my blood flow. But going back to the band, I have never seen, before the introduction of this one, I have never seen such a unique band. This is one of those bands that no matter where you go, people will be in awe. People are surprised that Apple makes this band. Most people think this is a third party just because people assume that Apple isn't capable of producing such a beautiful band. And on top of that, the message behind it. This one came out last year for Pride Month. And as some of you guys know, I'm all for love. There's no hate here on my channel. This is a safe place for those within the LGBTQ community. So apart from the message behind it, just look at all the colors. It does have silver inserts, but with the braided solo line, more or less, they're hidden away anyway. So with the huge plethora of colors, it really doesn't matter what you pair this up with. It could be the product red aluminum, it could be the gold stainless steel, heck, it could even be the ceramic watch, which by the way, the Series 5 ceramic and this Pride braided solo, my goodness, chef's kiss. Just look at it on some of this B-roll. It is absolutely beautiful. It looks divine, and it looks like it was dropped to us from the Apple Watch gods, aka Tim Apple and his team. So without a doubt, if it wasn't for my number 1, this one is a heavy candidate for also being within my all-time favorite bands. And honestly, I don't think this one will ever drop any lower than the top 5. Very unique, very bouncy, very energetic band. And if you do not have this one in your collection, and if you consider yourself a bandaholic, you need this one in your collection. It's kind of like an initiation. If you don't have this one, then I'm not really sure you can consider yourself a bandaholic. That's a joke, by the way, but I just really enjoy this one. And for number 1, many of you guys will say that I'm very lame for this one, but there's a lot of sentimental value for my number 1 pick. Trust me, this is not anybody's go-to. It's actually a really dull and boring band if you ask me, but this is the band that started it all for me. I'm talking about this black woven nylon band that released several years ago. Now, for some of you guys that don't know, I was introduced to the Apple Watch during the Series 2. And my first ever band technically was a Nike sport band that had gray with white perforations. And so what ended up happening, I remember I had some Verizon bucks, which by the way, for my international folks, Verizon is a cellular carrier, a popular one here in the States. So I had around $60 or so to spend in their store. So one day I went in thinking I was gonna maybe buy a charger or a case, and the Verizon guy actually was like, you know what, you have just enough money. At the time I had my Series 2 on, and he said, well, have you ever considered buying an extra watch band for your Series 2? And that started everything. So this was technically my second band ever, but it was the first band that really made me love interchanging my Apple Watch bands, and this is the bad boy that started it all. I want to say shout out to that Verizon guy. I really don't even know his name, But shout out to him, because if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for this purchase, none of this probably would have been possible. I probably would have never gotten into Apple Watch bands. And through this purchase that started to feed my addiction, I've met so many Apple Watch band lovers that are just as in love with Apple Watch bands as I am. And to those people, you know who you are. You guys interact with me on the daily. I've never met such a tight-knit community. And the crazy part is, once I was about 25 plus bands deep, I really thought that I was one of very few people who had just a weird addiction to Apple Watch bands. But thankfully, I'm not alone. And again, through this band purchase, I've been able to meet so many great people that love Apple Watch bands just as much as I do. So because of the sentimental value, I very much cherish this one. This is my number one pick. I don't try to wear it all too often because the woven nylon bands, in my opinion, they do start to get a little beaten up after a while. They start to look really worn, especially if you don't wash them. But by washing them, you sort of degrade them over time anyway with that scrubbing. And so I just prefer to keep this one as pristine as I can, because at least for me, this one means a lot. So guys, currently this is my top 5. What do you guys think? I'm sure that everyone else has different opinions on which bands they prefer. So guys, definitely let's get a discussion going down in the comment section. I know there are hundreds upon hundreds of different bands. I do not own them all. One day, hopefully I will. So there's so many to choose from. Which one is your favorite? Now, this was a hard top 5. There were so many candidates. I got on my little footstool before filming and I got about 15 bands down that were potential candidates for my top 5, but these 5 won out. So guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun doing it for you guys. I had a ton of fun choosing them. And honestly, that's the beauty of collecting Apple Watch bands. You really can switch up your entire vibe by just switching out your band. Sometimes you might not want to draw a lot of attention, and you might want a band that just hides in the shadows and is just very sleek and mysterious and very cool, like this one. Other times you might be in a bouncier mood and you might opt for the Pride bands, which are very colorful and very bright. On occasions you want to be bougier, definitely the Hermes bands are top quality. You will not be disappointed with the quality of Hermes leather. And whenever you want to show off some pride in terms of your country of origin or wherever your family is from, then the international bands that are slowly becoming more and more limited because they will never be produced ever again are also a nice pick. I will say this was a very expensive band, the Mexico woven nylon, as most of the international woven nylon bands are. I want to say this one cost me about closer to $400. So I should have bought these way back when they were released, but the thing is, I didn't collect Apple Watch bands back then, so I got to cut myself some slack. I almost have all of them. I was actually planning on making episode 3 of the rarest bands being my current woven nylon international collection, so I will be completing that collection very soon, and I will also be uploading that video momentarily. So guys, once again, drop your comments down below. If you like videos like this, please also let me know down below. I'd love to keep making top 5s for you guys. I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts are and what your favorite bands are. And guys, this was just a really quick one. Hope you enjoyed. I will be catching you guys real soon as I have a ton of content with these new M2 MacBooks coming up real soon. And also in September, we have the new iPhone releases. So guys, I'm clocking out. Be safe, and I cannot wait to catch you all in the next one.